All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for our daily videos, keeping you informed on everything that goes on with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, the whole market. And it's a great time to be involved with cryptocurrency, my friends. Bitcoin popping, altcoins popping, Bitcoin's up 6%, Litecoin up 21%, Ethereum up 10%, Bcash up 44%. And so on and so forth. My question to you is, are you taking profits? Are you skimming off the top? Or are you letting it ride? I might take a little bit of profit. So actually Bitcoin just fell about $70 in the last couple seconds, but it was consolidating pretty close to $5,000, which I did like to see, because we rallied up all the way to 5,100, and if we can stay anywhere close to $5,000, it's really good, but we'll see how this plays out. Anyways, part of my goal on this channel is to provide you with the most value that I can on a daily basis, even if that means that sometimes I'm going to need to recommend somebody else's YouTube channel, and that's just what I'm going to do today. Bob Loukas. And the way I see it, if one of us succeeds, if one channel succeeds, we all succeed, we all do well, it gets the word out there. Today I want to go over Bob Loukas' very recent video. This was just posted the other day. He gave me permission to share some of this stuff with you. So hopefully, because his video, it's over 33 minutes long, I'm just going to play parts of it for you, but hopefully this motivates you to go and watch the whole thing. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description. Seriously, this is very valuable, very insightful, a lot of perspective. You're going to want to watch this entire thing. And if you do, please do me a favor, because I do want to support him. Give his video a like. Support his work, and also go in the comments and say something. Say Altcoin Daily sent you, or whatever you want. Anyways, let's get into it. So I've been subscribed to Bob Loukas for some time now. If you don't know who he is, Bob Loukas, he's a market analyst with over 25 years trading experience. And his expertise is market cycles. He's an expert on market cycles, any market cycles, all market cycles. Anyway, he first came into the public eye. Well, the first time I heard about him was when I saw this video. You probably did too, especially because I reported on it. This is a video of his from a few months ago. It's called Bitcoin's 4-year cycles, and he was the first person that I know of. He was the first person to point out this interesting pattern that we're seeing with Bitcoin in these 4-year cycles, where essentially Bitcoin will go in an uptrend for 3 years, and then a correction and consolidation for about 1 year, approximately. 70% of the time it's going in an upwards direction, 30% of the time it's going in a downwards consolidation direction. So 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up, 1 year down. It's a very interesting analysis. If you haven't seen his original video, Bitcoin's 4-year cycle, I'm going to leave a link in the description to my video where I broke it down the first time. Anyways, he just released a follow-up video to that one today. It's called The Next 4-Year Cycle Has Started. And in this video, he provides some really interesting insight. He puts himself on the record. And according to him, this is what he said. He says he is 98% confident that Bitcoin has already bottomed, as in he's 98% confident that Bitcoin's 3,100 price point back in December was the bottom of the bear market, and we're not going to go any lower than this. And now we begin the consolidation period / the very beginning of what will turn into an uptrend, the new 4-year cycle. And the reason for this, the reason that Bob is so confident, he mentioned 2 indicators. He said, number 1, there's been substantial separation in terms of price, as in from 3,100 to 5,100. And number 2, and this is probably more important, that there's been substantial separation in terms of time from here to here. So let's take a listen, find out what he has to say. Once again, he believes the bottom is in, and we just finished the end of a 4-year cycle, and now we begin the next 4-year cycle, where he expects us to be in an uptrend for 3 years, and then consolidation / downwards direction for 1 year. But possibly 3 years from now, we would see another huge shift, another parabolic rise. Let me play a little bit of this for you.
I think overall, what I want you to take away from with this analysis is that I now firmly believe, basically a 98% belief, right? Because it's never 100%. Once you go absolute and stick to an absolute statement, you're going to be screwed essentially from a trading standpoint. You'll never be able to get away from that view and that bias, and you'll be trapped regardless of what price tells you. But I have a kind of a 98% confidence level now that the December cycle low is in, and that we are now into a couple of daily cycles, 60-day cycles into the 4-year cycle. We are 3 or 4 months into the 4-year cycle, and the 4-year cycle, if we look at the prior 2 cycles as a guide, I'm going to try and zoom out a little bit here, I believe will run for approximately 150 weeks. The prior 2 cycles ran for 153 weeks in the bull trend, and the one before that, zooming down, was 142 weeks. So again, just a guide, just an estimate for planning purposes, but looking at around 150 weeks to around the October 2021 time period. It's a lot of time, right? And a lot of room to move. So as an investor and a hodler, put that into perspective. How this market squiggles and wiggles and oscillates here over the next coming 3 or 4 months is irrelevant to you as a long-term investor, doing yourself a disservice by allowing price fluctuations in the short term to influence how you invest in the long term. Very important concept. Please try and really appreciate that statement and understand your time frame and be happy to be in that time frame from an investing standpoint.
All right. It's a very important concept, guys. If you're trading, that's one thing, but if you're hodling, if this is an investment for you, don't try and time the bottom necessarily. I mean, we were hovering around 85% correction for months. In my opinion, as I told you multiple times, what I was doing, I thought it was smart to start cost averaging at that point because you just don't know. And if you're investing, these day-to-day price movements, they don't matter that much. You know why they don't matter that much?
Because your prize is up here. Your prize is a couple of years away and it is up here. Okay? Not designed to get everybody really pumped up, but that's really the prize. That's what you're in this for. This is the 4-year cycle horizon that we're looking at.
So he goes on to say that at the beginning of this next cycle, we're going to see a lot of sideways price movement. Probably won't surpass all-time highs anytime this year. But let me share with you his thoughts on the next 4 years. Where is Bitcoin going to go?
Okay, so when does the rally in the next 4-year cycle really take hold? And what you notice here is that most of the gains in the 4-year cycle occur right near the end, and it occurs quickly and rapidly, and very few people take full advantage of it, and it's just too difficult to do. If we go back to the original 4-year cycle, this is the breakout point right here in January of 2013. The major top occurs in November of 2013, 11 months from exceeding the prior high and then rallying, in this case, from 13 or even like sort of 20 or $30 here to 1,100. That's the gain of the cycle in 11 months. Then if you look at the prior cycle and you look at the 1,100 top from the first 4-year cycle and you draw across, here's the breakout point. The breakout point occurs in April of 2017. Think about that. April 2017 to December. Now you're talking about only 6 months or 7 months to the next high. So from the April highs of around 1,300 to 20,000, pretty much the entire gain. This is where new all-time highs come in, right? So for approximately almost 4 years, we don't have any new all-time highs. And then we see a sort of 15x move occur in 7 or 8 months. Or 10 months, I'm sorry, I keep confusing myself there, but you get the point. Point is that most of the gains, the really big speculative gains, occur only once price hits a new all-time high again. So what happens in the meantime is you get this accumulation phase and awareness phase, institutional phase, and it's only the retail phase right at the end where most of the, let's just call it dumb money and the retail money, and no offense to anybody listening, many of you probably got in at some point right here, the last cycle, okay? That's when it gets really heated. But we're in this early accumulation phase, not even really the awareness phase at this point. Smart money accumulation, this is where we want to be. And this is why it doesn't matter that price is up 1,000 or 2,000 off the lows. And it doesn't matter if you buy right now, if it drops another 1,000 or 2, you're in the accumulation phase. At some point, what we're going to see, I'm going to draw this backward at some point, if we expect the next 4-year cycle low to go 150 weeks across, okay, again, no absolutes here, we're using just guides. But if we take that and then we draw backwards a date, and we want to go, let's just say 9 months back. Okay, so we want to go 36 weeks. This here is the point where it exceeds the prior highs. So I'm going to draw from the $20,000 level to here. This is the point where, and again, this is all guides, I can't stress that enough, where Bitcoin probably exceeds the $20,000 level and begins to go parabolic. And then from there does a 10x, 15x, whatever the number is, nobody knows. So we see most of 2019 below and accumulating in under the $6,000 range. At some point, let's just say in October, we get one spike maybe above. Okay, gets everybody excited, come back down. It's not until maybe towards December that we start to really put price above the 6,000 and then behind us. Okay, maybe a few retests lower, and then early 2020. So let's just say a year from here, we begin to get full awareness now. Now we have price over 7,000, getting up towards 8,000. It's now more than doubled, if not tripled, getting close to tripled off the December lows. People are starting to come back in that were probably invested at some point in the last cycle, and now this is more of an awareness phase. Much more institutional money starting to come in. Okay, probably an ETF is approved by this point, maybe a year out or so. So we're starting to get a lot of interest now building in this, but still retail does not believe now. Retail won't believe until we break 20,000, and CNBC comes on and talks about all-time highs and all that type of thing. It's all repeatable. Every cycle is the same. Okay, but this then becomes a situation in 2020 where we start to fill the gap between that $7,000 range and the $20,000 all-time high of 2017. And that comes and completes all of 2020 and then into some of 2021, where 2021 is the third year, and third year is typically the biggest year in a bull market, at least a secular bull market. And that's when the gains begin to get ridiculous. So then what happens from that point is really anybody's guess. My guess is that we have yet another similar move, if not a bigger move, in terms of percentage-wise than the last two. I believe that the 2021 bull market top is going to be a massive blow-off top like you've never seen before. I believe 200 is the target. I would probably be out of a lot of my positions by that point, but this could overshoot, and that's obviously too much, but this could overshoot. I think possibly even as high as the $300,000 level is possible, and not out of question for what we're seeing right here.
All right, so I thought that was valuable. Make sure you watch his whole video. I only showed you parts of it. He's got a lot more insight to provide. Link is in the description. Make sure you comment underneath, say Altcoin Daily sent you. And Bob Loukas is an expert, and I like to share what different experts have to say. And he provides the market cycle insight. Anyway, my final thoughts are this. It's been my opinion, as I've stated on this channel before, it's been my opinion for the past couple months that Bitcoin was going to go lower. Of course, it still might. We just don't know, but it hasn't happened yet, which is also why I was telling you that I was cost averaging this whole time, which if I took a little bit of profits now, might be a smart decision. But beyond that, I don't know if I will, because I do have most of my portfolio will not be touched because I do have this long-term mindset. I have my eye on the prize. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Hope you got value. See you tomorrow.